So you can really begin whenever you want.
Okay, and am I screen sharing correctly?
Yep, I see it.
Okay, yay. Just want to make sure. All right, good morning, everyone. I'm going to be going over prospecting. Like Kate said, I'm Gerald Valley in the Michigan market, and I manage 2 offices. I have 42 agents that I work with, and so very excited to be here today. I know I have a couple. I saw one of my agents on here, Lori Dorston was on here. I tried to go through the list and catch the names that I'm familiar with. So welcome to you all. I'm very excited to be here today to talk about prospecting. So they gave me an hour. Hopefully I won't go over that. I'll try not to because I know we're going to get into lunchtime. So prospecting, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to discuss the benefits of proactive versus passive prospecting. We're going to examine how listings drive business and bring prospects to you. We're going to discuss the 2 HANA systems, the Daily 7s and the 5510s, and their role in your ongoing prospecting activities. And if you have any questions at any time, feel free to ask. I'm going to go, just move through the slides, but I'm always open to questions. I need to figure out, right now I'm seeing faces and I can't see my slides, so I need to figure that out real quick. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so a couple quotes. Begin with the end in mind. That's from Dr. Stephen Covey. And anything is possible, and it all begins with a vision. What is a vision? An imagined idea or a goal toward where one aspires. Okay, tools. The tools that you're going to need. I'm sorry, I'm reading off my papers and not my screen. I apologize. I'll get it together here. Tools to guide and plan your daily activities. Calendar with your opportunity time, your to-do list, your business development planning guide, your listing prospects list, your current buyers list, your Daily 7s. We are going to talk about these in depth, so I'm not just flying through these really fast. Your 5510s, your Magic 50 Sphere list, and your office roster, your pending transaction checklist, and your MLS printouts of listings. All right, I still do not have my screen the way I want it, so bear with me for 1 second.
Gerald, at the top, you could probably change the view.
Okay. I got it now.
Good.
Okay. Thank you for your patience. Okay, first we're going to talk about what is prospecting. What's a prospect? Why do we need to prospect? We need to generate leads, buyer and seller leads. We need to list homes, so we're going to work with those sellers to list their homes. And we're going to show homes. We're going to work with the buyers. This is called prospecting. You want to prospect, you want to generate the leads so you can do these things. The power of one listing. So listings are the easiest way to prospect. Why? Signage. You get your name out there. So you have Gerald Valley on that sign. Somebody drives by that sign every day. That's an automatic, you're prospecting with your name out there. Your marketing, that listing is going on the web page. You're getting hits. It's got your name on it. It's got the company name on it. Your just listed cards. You're sending out your just listed cards to your 5510. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But you're going to send those out. You're going to have open house cards and ads. You're going to have open house leads. You're going to have call-ins, web inquiries. 2 to 5 sales should result from each listing. Absolutely. And there is I don't have that with me, but there is so many things that can come from one listing. You have so many opportunities that come from that one listing with the people that call you, the open houses. There's no such thing as a bad listing. They generate leads, even if it's just one lead, even if it's just getting it sold. But there's so much more that comes from it and the opportunities of getting a listing that come with it. So what is it to be proactive? So proactivity. and getting your prospects and getting your leads. Don't wait for it to happen. Make it happen. That is very important. You will tell yourself that many times throughout your career. Ask for the business. Don't wait for it to come to you. Passive versus assertive approach. You want to be assertive in your business, not aggressive. You want to be assertive. You convert your leads into clients for life. In my business, like I said, I've been in the business for 20 years. If you do your business well and you build your relationships, relationships are built on trust and confidence. You build those relationships, that will build your business. There is so much of my business that I started with that one client, whether it was a buyer or a listing, and all of a sudden you have parents and siblings and friends and aunts and uncles, and pretty soon that one client is now this whole bunch of clients together. Because you do it well and you build that trust and confidence, then you have the whole group of them. And it's amazing. I look at my business and I look at, because now I refer it out, we're non-compete managers in Michigan and everything gets referred out. And it's referring out groups of businesses. It's not just that one person, it's their whole family. It's pretty exciting to watch it grow like that. And after 20 years, a lot of my business before I got into management was from referrals because I built it right and I built it well. Schedule your prospecting time as an appointment on your calendar. Prospecting time is very, very important, especially if you're going to be active. Schedule it. You do your daily scheduled calls. You have new leads from opportunity time and open houses. That is the worst thing as a manager and as an agent you have your open house and then you just tuck all those leads away and you forget about them until Wednesday. Well, they should have been, when I had my agent hat on, I would actually send out an email that afternoon after my open house, send out an email thanking them because I can remember who they were, thanking them for stopping by my open house. And if there was some personal tidbit or something that I remember about our conversation or maybe a room they liked, I would include that in an email, in my email, and just saying, thank you so much for stopping. Nice to meet your daughter, nice to meet your family, you know, whatever it was that made a connection with us. And then I would follow up with a phone call the next day. Did you get my email? Thanks again for stopping. There is so much you can do with your open houses. And so those are new leads. You can generate a lead from that. And then you have your sphere of influence. Every 90 days, 4 times a year, you have that magic 50. These people that you already know and that already like you and trust you can send out something to them every 90 days, making sure that you stay in front of it. How many times, well, maybe not right now because you're new, most of you are new to the business, you run into someone and say, oh yeah, I forgot you're in real estate and they just bought a house. That happens so many times. So make sure that doesn't happen to you. Your past clients, you need to stay in touch with them. Set up a system to stay in touch with them. Howard Hanna has so many tools for you that you can put those things into those people into Engage CRM. You can have your buyers on Real Scout. There are so many tools for you to use that there is no way you should not be doing this. You have your just listed and just sold cards. Follow those up with a phone call. Mail one to yourself to remind you to follow up with a phone call. Proactive prospecting. You have your daily scheduled calls. You have your 5-5-10 farming plan, which again, we will go through that in depth. Your FSBOs and expireds, which I believe you just covered that because I caught the tail end of that. Your internet leads, you'll get lots of internet leads off your listings. You should follow up with them. After tour buyer prospects, who's a great candidate to buy the house you just toured? And we're going to talk about that in depth too. I think that's in a couple slides. We're going to talk about what should you be doing while you're touring your listings. Passive prospecting. Passive prospecting is you show up for your floor time, your opportunity time, and you wait for the phone to ring. You're eating your granola bar, you're drinking your coffee, you're waiting for the phone to ring. That's all you're doing. That's passive. It's not very productive at all. You have open houses. You didn't properly prepare. You're hoping someone's just going to walk through the door. So with the open houses, make sure you're prepared. Make sure you're sending out the invitations. Back 20 years ago, I don't see many people doing it anymore, is when I had open houses, I would actually send out a personal invitation, a handwritten personal invitation that looked like an invitation to a party. And I had so many people walk through the door and says, "Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm here to see the house." Well, a lot of those people weren't going to buy that house, but they knew people and they could tell people, "I just saw this wonderful house. I received this invitation." They were just happy to be invited. And it gets the word out about your listing. So a passive prospecting would be, oh, I hear somebody.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did you say you hand wrote it?
I did. I know, that's hard to believe, isn't
You
it?
must have some excellent penmanship.
I don't actually. But yes, I actually sat down and took my invitations and hand wrote them out and hand addressed the envelope, and I mailed them out. And, you know, and I was talking to my agents last week. So when you get your mail, speaking of that, I'm going to kind of go in another direction for real quick. So when you pick up your mail and you're going through and you see the bills and all the advertising, what's the first thing you open up? The very first thing you open up, because you don't get many of these very often, is the handwritten letter. Would you say I'm right? Yes? Yes, absolutely. You want to know, where have I been invited to? Who is writing me a letter? Because nobody writes letters nowadays. Nobody. So, you know, send out the invitation, send out that handwritten note. I know it sounds silly, but it gets people at your open house. It really does. And that's just one more person there, one more person who can help you sell that house. Mailings, follow up your mailings with a phone call. So you're sending out all these mailings, but are you sure they're getting them? Are they reading them? Follow it up. Build an inventory of clients. If your prospective business worksheet to help you track leads, I think we're missing a word in there, I apologize. Are there blank lines? No one is at A status. It's time for more prospecting activities. If you're not seeing any results of your prospecting, then you need to do more. If your worksheet isn't full of A and B status, then fine tune your scripts and dialogues. There are many things that you can refer to on the Howard Hanna site. I'm going to talk a little bit more when we get down to the bullet point of Hanna presentations, but review your material, both verbal and written. Your marketing materials about Howard Hanna and you. Hanna presentations is fabulous. You can use the bullet points in there for scripting. So as a new agent, and what I always tell my new agents, you don't have a lot to talk about because you have limited experience right now. So you need to use Howard Hanna and everything that they stand for. You need to use them as your talking points. And as you build your experience, you can integrate your experience in the things that you have done into that presentation. But for right now, Howard Hanna is what you're going to talk about. And there, if you have gone into presentations, and I'm not sure if you've covered that yet in your Fast Start training, but if you have looked at that, there are some fabulous, fabulous things to use in there that will really, it makes you look like, oh my gosh, I am an awesome agent, which you all are. But you can make it look like that using those presentations.
Excuse me, I do have a quick question.
Yes.
I may be really overthinking this and being too literal here, okay? But on the last slide that we just came from, you kept referring to this worksheet. Is there like a, I don't know, a sheet that we should be filling out that's pre-made through Howard Hanna or something that we should be using to help keep track of these clients?
Yes, and I will send that to you, or I'll get it to Kate and she can send it out to everyone. There is a prospective business worksheet. Okay. So if you don't have that already, I will make sure you get that.
I just haven't seen it, that's all, since I'm
okay.
new. So, okay.
You will get it. Thank you. I didn't realize you didn't have it. Note is made. I have circled. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to time blocking. So does anyone know what time blocking is? Yay, you all do. Okay.
Using a planner?
Well, kind of. So time blocking, you're scheduling your prospecting as an appointment. You're using call activity reports to track and measure. So I'm assuming you don't have the call activity report either. No. Okay,
Are
I'll
you
make sure.
are you referring to that booklet, like the acceleration booklet that they gave us at the beginning of this?
Yeah, there are, some of those reports are in there.
Okay.
But I'm gonna make sure if they're not in there, I will make sure you have them.
Okay.
And
Anything
Daryl,
I
they're
mentioned,
in those packets, or they are in the book. I did show where there's a PDF online. Their managers should have them, but I can send that out. So you don't have to worry about it. I'll get it to them.
okay. Thank you, Kate.
Yep.
Okay. So if you have, it's discipline. I like that one. You have an appointment with your phone. So we're gonna go to, here's your time block. Okay, your schedule. You should be scheduling yourself, and time blocking would mean that you're blocking out a specific amount of time for certain activities. So I will tell you, in my offices, my most successful people practice time blocking. And my most consistently successful people practice time blocking. So, and I know exactly who they are, and I know exactly when they are prospecting, and everybody in the office does. And there is nothing wrong with that. I know that when David is sitting in the conference room with the door closed, he's reserved it, that he's prospecting and nobody's going to bother him. And I know that he does that. He plans it first thing in the morning. He plans out what he's going to do. And then later on, you'll see him actually making the phone calls. And I also know Carl does that too. Carl does it. So I have two agents that I would say are extremely good. I wish I had more at time blocking. And it's important because if you don't set aside that time, you're not going to do it. I'm the same way. If I don't set aside the time to prospect for new agents, I am not going to do it. And so, and one of the things I told my agents, we were going through a lot of these things last week in our Tuesday meeting. And one of the things I said to my agents last week, you know, maybe you don't set a whole side a whole hour. Maybe you're only going to dedicate 15 minutes to it, but start somewhere. Start somewhere, you know, and maybe you're not going to call all the people we want you to call or you want to call, but at least start somewhere. Maybe it's instead of the 7, which we're going to go over that, maybe it's just 1. Start small. Maybe today you're going to say, okay, I'm going to spend 15 minutes and I'm going to call 1 person today. But start somewhere and work up to, maybe it's 15 minutes and then you're going to go 20 and then you're going to go for a half an hour and then you're going to hit that hour. And then it's going to be, maybe you're going to have afternoons that you just spend the whole afternoon prospecting, but set aside that time. Take real estate everywhere you go. So this is important, and this happens to anyone who practices this. This happens to you. So you wear your Howard Hanna lapel pin or your name badge, you will get people talking to you. I always do. Whenever I have my badge on, when I have my pin on, when I'm driving in my Hannamobile, anything that has Howard Hanna on it, people will talk to you. People love to talk about real estate. They absolutely do. And so if you have that badge on, they will say something to you. Oh, you're with Howard Hanna. Oh, you're an agent. Oh, you know, my friend so-and-so was looking for a new agent. And pretty soon you're giving them your card. You're having a casual, friendly conversation that opens up the door to talking about real estate. And you start talking to them. You ask them where they live, and you talk about Ford. My husband works for Ford, so we're not talking about the car dealership Ford, or the car manufacturer Ford, but Ford means be interested in the family and friends, be interested in their occupation, career, or job, be interested in recreation, hobbies, what people like to do for fun, be interested in their dreams, goals, and the long-term plans. And while you're talking to them, you have your Hanna name badge on, you started this conversation, you're engaged in conversation, you're asking them, oh, what do you do for a living? That always comes up. It always comes up. You've got your cards ready to go to flash one out there and hand it to them. While you're talking to them, you're listening for a change in any of these things that requires real estate services. Maybe they have a child on the way. Maybe there is a marriage. Maybe there is a long-term relationship. Maybe there's a divorce. Maybe there's a move. You know, you don't know what you might pick up on if you are listening. And people do love to talk about themselves. And who knows, pretty soon you have a relationship with these people. I met somebody in the grocery store. I was putting my groceries into my car. It says Howard Hanna on it. And some gentleman walks up to me and says, "So you're with Howard Hanna?" "Yes, I am." And all of a sudden we engage in this 15-minute conversation. And he says his daughter is looking for a house. I give him my card. He doesn't call me, but for 3 months later, he calls me and says, "Hey, do you remember me? I saw you at the grocery store. I approached you in the parking lot." Well, I do remember him because I did think it was kind of creepy at the time because the parking lot was kind of vacant. And so I was a little concerned. So the memory was there, but he was a very nice person. And he ended up calling me about his daughter. So I don't know if he'll ever, this just happened recently, finish out the sale. But the thing is, I engaged in that conversation with him. I did talk to him. We talked about his daughter. And she's going to buy a house. Hopefully it's from one of my agents. Now, another thing I used to do when I was an agent on opportunity time, you're on the phone and you're talking and you can hear things in the background. You can hear the dog barking. "Oh, you have a dog. Oh, I have a dog too. What kind of dog do you have?" Pretty soon, see how we just switched into this personal bonding moment of the dog conversation. And everybody loves to talk about their animals too. Or maybe you hear a child in the background, or you hear music in the background. "Oh, I love that song." You know, something to make a connection. In order to build that relationship, you need to make a connection with these people. They just called you. They have no idea who you are. You start talking about something that makes a connection, all of a sudden you are now their friend and you are going to help them buy a house. That's even better. Okay, the daily sevens. So the daily sevens, what are the sevens? So you're going to be calling 7 prospective buyers, 7 prospective sellers, and you're going to preview or visit 7 properties. Now, I know previewing properties right now is not in everybody's best interest, so let's go with the 7 prospective buyers and 7 prospective sellers. So 5 days each week working, and then we're going to break it down into a formula. So if you're a numbers person, you're going to love this analogy. 5 days each week, working 36 weeks, 14 contacts per day, 70 people per week. So that's 2,520 contacts per year. So if you have a 10% conversion, you will have 252 new clients. If you're at a 1% conversion, you'll have 25 new clients. Sounds like a pretty good plan, pretty easy too. So 1% conversion with 25 new clients. Average sale price for homes in the Midwest is $140,000. So 140,000 times 25 is 3.5 million potential in new listing and or sales volumes per year. So who wouldn't want to do that? Who wouldn't want to do that? It's amazing. I don't have many people who do that out of my agents. So if you were just to commit and time block, somebody have a question?
How much money is that for me?
How much that all? What do you mean by that? 3.5 million potential. It all depends on the commission splits, and everybody is different. I know we're covering several states or a few states here.
Is there an average number?
I don't give averages on that kind of stuff. So sit down with your manager, and I'm going to take the easy way out. Sit down with your manager and ask your manager, if I do my daily sevens, and if you make me accountable to my daily sevens, and I promise to you that I do them every single day, and I get those 25, and I do my 3.5 million in volume, what does that mean to me? And your manager will go through all those numbers with you. It means a lot of money. There's your answer. It means a lot of money for you.
Thank you.
I do have a question too. For these daily sevens, do you have, because we're reaching out to clients and whatnot, do you find a certain time of day more beneficial to do this type of thing where we're actually reaching out to these clients? Because, many of them are going to be working or doing whatever. So do you find a time of day that, or a day of the week that works best usually for doing something like this?
I mean, usually it's hard because I'm sure there are proven times. I would say probably most people are the Monday and Fridays in the evening. But again, it's going to be hit or miss. And I know that my agents at Prospect are prospecting in the middle of the day, and they're leaving messages, because my family and friends have gotten messages from my agents before. And so, and it's in the middle of the day. So you kind of have to go with, especially right now, there's a lot of people home right now. I would say it right now, you could call it any time and get people, because there's a lot of people still working from home. I know in Michigan we have a lot of people. So right now would be a great time to start getting used to the daily sevens and getting that into your plan and in your schedule, and just pick a time. And if you find that time you're not getting anybody, pick another time. Adjust your time. There's nothing set in stone.
Cheryl,
Kate?
yeah, I was just going to add to that. Just a few things. I think if you're just starting with this, it can be kind of scary. So I would agree. Start practicing by just leaving messages. So if you know, maybe just a good place to start would be during the day, leave the message. But if you're ready to go, if they have children, usually before dinner, the late afternoon is probably best. If they don't, after dinner would be better. And that's just thinking about regular, you know, kid schedules. And you don't want to disrupt someone when they're trying to put the kids to bed, or there's like a lot, you know, they're cleaning and stuff. So just think about, you know, it could change depending on the demographic of who you're calling.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. You always have to be prepared to adjust. Okay, 5-5-10s. So if you have ever listened to Hadi, Hadi loves to talk about the 5-5-10s, and he does a fabulous presentation on 5-5-10s. So I won't even be able to touch his presentation, and you will hear it, because you will meet Hadi and he will talk about the 5-5-10s, and I think this is his favorite subject. So what is a 5-5-10? So for every new listing you take, you contact the residents of the 5 houses to the left, the 5 houses to the right, and the 10 across the street. So you touch base with these 20 households. You call them when you first list the home, before the sign goes up. I know right now it says within 72 hours, but our signs have to go up in 24 where I'm at. So you call them when you first list a home saying, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I'm listing a home at 123 Main Street. It's going on the market for $149,900. If you have anyone's interested, give me a call. Here's my card, you know, if you're in person, but I can mail, you're going to be mailing something because you're going to send them a just listed postcard, which is the next item down. You're going to mail them that. It's going to have your number on there. It's going to have your face on there. Sign goes up, has your name rider on there. You send out an open house invitation. Again, you can do this through e-cards. You can do a handwritten note, whatever you're comfortable with. You can have a half-hour preview just for the neighbors. That is very helpful, because your first open house, most of the people at your first open house that you do is just the neighbors. A lot of that, because the neighbors are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you listed that house. I've been dying to see it for years. And they come through. But that's okay, because they may know someone who wants to buy that house, or there may be somebody that they know they want to buy that house that they want as a neighbor. And make sure you put your open house riders up as well on your sign. Stop by the day of the open house, invite them to bring a friend. So you go visit that 5-5-10 the day before the open house, knock on the door, leave your card, say, hey, just wonder if you're going to come to the open house tomorrow, bring a friend along. Send a mailing with the date, time of your open house TV showcase. Not all markets have that, so I'm not going to touch on that. You have a price adjustment, send a postcard and or a call. So when you reduce the price, or maybe you're going to raise the price, send a postcard and give them a call. Hey, just wanted to let you know, we've made a price adjustment. This is what it is, in case you have anyone interested. An offer is accepted. You send out a just sold postcard once it closes. You call the 20 neighbors and thank them for assisting in the sale. You talk about the marketing and their new neighbor. Hey, you want to welcome your new neighbor. We just closed on Friday. They'll be moving in on Saturday, or they'll be moving in a week. You add the sold card to your, or the sold insert to your yard sign. Make sure you put up that sold sign. They want to know, everybody wants to know when the house is sold. And I don't know how many times before I could get the sold sign up, I was getting a call that says, hey, I just heard that closed. Is it so? Did it really sell? So your sold sign going up will tell everybody you sold that house. The transaction closes, you send a meet your new neighbor card. These things are in your GoHanna. There are e-cards available to you that you can send out. All the e-cards that I've mentioned, all those sending out cards, those are all in your GoHanna under your e-cards. Add the 20 neighbors to your sphere of influence. Send them postcards for every home activity in the same zip code. 5510 times 10 contacts equals at least 200 impressions of you as a neighborhood expert. So pretty soon, Jarrell Valley is known in that neighborhood because I kept calling and sending them information in regards to that one listing that I had. And pretty soon they start calling you to list their home. And they call it farming the neighborhood. So you're farming the neighborhood. And so what you also can do, so maybe you've got that listing in that neighborhood that you've always wanted more listings in that neighborhood, and you decide that is the neighborhood you're going to farm. So a new listing comes into the office, or a new sale comes into the office, recent new listings or sales. You can send out cards, you can call all these people that you already just put in your database because you had that one listing that you got those 20 contacts off of, and you can send them more information. You can offer owners a CMA of their home. Anyone know how you can do that very quickly? Anybody? The buy side. Through buy side, you can offer owners a CMA of their home. That's a fabulous tool that I wish more people would take advantage of. It really does a nice job of featuring the CMA and helping out the sellers. Open house invitations, again, those are in your e-cards, or you do personal ones. Make new contacts and add to your sphere. So all these things you can do within that neighborhood. You're farming that neighborhood, you're cultivating, you're establishing relationships within that neighborhood. 5510s in your open house. Drive traffic to your open houses. Invitations, some of this is repetitive. Invitations and emails to the 5510, phone calls to the 5510. You can also call 5 friends, 5 buyers, and 10 past clients to tell them about this property that you are holding open. You should have an awesome open house if you do these things. Okay, now let's talk about the purpose of touring. So the offices, I'm not sure if everybody is back to property touring. If you're not, you will be at some point. But if you are, we're going to talk about the times when we are touring. So what does that do? What is the benefit to you? You're learning your team's inventory. So when you go out on tour, you're seeing all the new listings that have come available with your office. You're touring them, you're going through them, you're looking at the inventory. So that way, when you get to that floor call, when you get that opportunity time call, you can say, yes, I actually just saw that yesterday. What would you like to know about it? Well, can you tell me about the kitchen? I absolutely can tell you about the kitchen. So it gives you this level of confidence that you would not have if you hadn't seen that home. You can also learn home values in the market. It's a great way to do that. You're touring and this house is at $299.9. You go to a house similar the next day. Now you have a pretty good feel. You start gathering this information and doing the research, and pretty soon you're able to understand the home values in that market. You have, the more information you get while you're touring, because you're going through all these different homes that are priced at different levels, it kind of gives you a base knowledge for where you should be priced. And pretty soon, after 20 years in the business, I can walk into the home and pretty much shoot from the hip and tell you what that value is without even doing the research, because of the knowledge I've gained through touring, knowing my inventory, knowing everybody's inventory in the market, and looking at everything on the MLS every single day. I can walk into a home and already know what that should be priced at without doing the CMA. And you get that through experience and doing the things that you should be doing to gain that knowledge. You become the knowledgeable expert. Choose open houses wisely. Think of someone who should see the house, get on the cell phone as you leave to sell the house. So as you're leaving tour, you're thinking, you know what? I just talked to that person on Opportunity Time yesterday, Jane Smith yesterday. This would be the perfect house for her. I didn't see it in my search, but now that I've been through here, this is exactly what she was talking about. And so then you get on the phone and you call her and say, you know what, I think I just saw the house that you might be interested. And you start describing it to her, and all of a sudden you're excited about it, she's excited about it, and she said, can you schedule a time for me to see it? Absolutely. How about this afternoon at 3? That's how you do that, which is, it's a great thing. Okay. Apply the daily sevens.
In the touring,
Yes.
talking about just in your office, can you go and view other properties? I have already done that, view other properties that weren't from our office. I just scheduled a time, a showing time.
Like to preview another company's listings?
Correct.
Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely, you can do that. I mean,
Okay.
I've been denied that at times when I've asked to do that. But yes, you should. I think during these times with our COVID times, a lot of people are not allowing agents with pre-approved buyers to come through the homes. I know that is how it is in my market. So for the agents to preview homes during these times, it's not being allowed as much. But if under normal times, absolutely, you should be previewing those homes. And you should definitely be going on tour, definitely, to learn your inventory. Does that help? Does that answer
Yeah,
your?
I think so. And it probably depends on where you live. Like this county here is not an issue. I'm in Huron County, and the people are letting you go in houses, no problem whatsoever.
Okay. Yeah, I think right now, I think every area is different. I know Michigan is probably one of the more strict areas. And so we're a little more cautious. I don't want to say cautious, but we have a few more guidelines involved in seeing homes. So I wouldn't recommend it in this area, but if you have an area that it's not a problem, then by all means, definitely. Previewing homes gets you to know the inventory. When you get that call, then you're able to talk about it intelligently. Okay, applying the daily sevens. Use your daily sevens for after tour prospecting. When can you call? Who can you call who would be or would know the perfect buyer for that house? And these are the things that we just talked about. Who has a similar but nicer house that should be listed to compete with the one you just saw. So many times you see a home and you're thinking, you know what? My neighbor has a house very similar to this. This would be great to for them to list. Here's the price. And then you start get the competition going of, then they see all these homes together. And so now you've generated activity for the office, and you have, 3 homes that are similar that everybody wants to see all the homes, and usually one will sell the other. And so that is what that's talking about. So I have 2 more slides, and then I'm going to open it up to questions. So promote our exclusive tools. Some of the things when you're prospecting is, do you promote the tools that are exclusive to the company? We are the only company that offers the apartment dwellers trade-in. We're the only company that offers the money-back guarantee. We have the one-stop shopping. We have the buy before you sell. We are radically different than the other companies. You can differentiate yourself. You can help overcome the buyer's objections with some of these things that you have. With the money-back guarantee, you can help them. We have the home warranty. You can help them overcome some of their objections by offering a home warranty. The public doesn't know the difference unless you tell them or show them. So it's up to you to tell your buyers and your sellers about the tools available to you, to promote yourself, promote your company. It's up to you to get that information out there.
Pretty sure.
Thought of everything. Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure we just mentioned this a little bit ago because I asked about it, but we are going to have a time that we'll be able to go through each of these different programs, correct? Because I was trying to find I found a lot of advertisements on the 100% money back guaranteed, but I wasn't able to find that detailed, really breaking everything down so I can explain to the clients how that program works.
Randy, were you on day 1 of Fast Start?
I was not. That was the only day I've missed so far, yeah.
Okay, so there's an hour-long class called Hannah Exclusive Programs,
Okay.
where we go through all of this. I'll talk to Lucia about a way that we can try to get you caught up to speed with it.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
So to answer your question, yes, they do cover all that. Okay, our promise to the consumer: we'll stand behind our work, alleviate your concerns, streamline and improve your experience in the real estate transaction. List your home with us and stop worrying. So I think that was my last slide. Okay, so, and Howard Hanna does offer the tools that you did go over on the first day. And there are so many things that can set you apart from the competition. So many things. And all you have to do is show them and tell them. And if you use the presentations, Howard Hanna presentations, you know, that helps you. You don't have to come up with the verbiage all by yourself. All of this, you don't have to do this all by yourself. There are tools in place to help you with all of this. You just have to use them. So let me open it up. What I have? I have 15 minutes. So what questions do you have in regards to prospecting? Questions, ideas, concerns, anything? Or are you
What
just
are your
hungry?
favorite things to use?
What is my favorite things to use?
Yeah, like what tools do you recommend rookies use, like that seriously take advantage of?
Well, my favorite tool is, and most of my agents, our favorite tool is the Howard Hanna presentations. And so when I'll tell you my story. When I first came over to Howard Hanna, I came from a competitor. We had none of this. You guys, I mean, Howard Hanna, spoils their agents. We had none of this. So for me to come to Howard Hanna, the first thing I did, I had someone call me and said, can you do a CMA? And for me to do a CMA was like, it took me hours the way I did it with the tools that I had, which was none available to me. And so I thought, you know what? I just got here. I'm going to see what this Howard Hanna presentations thing is all about. So I sit down, and pretty soon I had my CMA done in like a half an hour. The very first time I sat down with Howard Hanna presentations. And plus, I was new to Howard Hanna, and so I didn't know everything that they had to offer. So the presentations had it all in there for me. Everything was all, it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. It was all right there. It made me look good. And I was, like I said, I was new to Howard Hanna. So it brought everything to the forefront. And I would say that is my favorite tool, and a lot of my agents' favorite tool. But I'm more old school, not as techie. Kate, probably that is not her favorite tool, but it is for me, because I'm in my 50s. And so the technology part, you know, the Real Scout, I have a lot of my younger agents absolutely love Real Scout. So I'll tell you a story about one of my younger millennial agents. So she uses open to close. Kate, did you want to, or you just, I thought you were
No,
gonna say
I'll
something.
wait till you're done, but yeah, you're right. I was going to give another tool that I really like.
So she's a newer agent, and she's been here 2 years now, and she was one of my top producers in the first quarter because of how she does her business. So her business mostly comes from open houses, and she would do the open to close, and then with open to close, it automatically goes into Real Scout. And so she did not realize this. She was just using the tools. She didn't know exactly how they all worked. And so pretty soon she's getting these emails from people saying, thank you so much for sending all these houses. I really appreciate the time you're putting into it. And she has no idea who these people are. None. And so she starts engaging with them and realizes what is happening. All these open houses that she's doing, because she doesn't have her own listings. She's doing open houses for other agents. All these open houses that she's doing, all these people are entering their names into open to close, is then going to Real Scout. Real Scout is making her look really good, sending out all these searches, making her look fabulous. Now she's getting these clients because she's done all this work, which she really hasn't done because she's just used the tool the way it's supposed to be used. And she has built quite a business for herself and only been in the business for 2 years. And she was, again, for my whole market area, for a while there in the first quarter, she was number 4 in my market area, which is phenomenal, phenomenal. She has had a fantastic year off those tools. So I can't say enough about that. So I would say if I were to ask her, those are her favorite tools. But Kate, I'll let you go ahead.
I was going
Thank
to say
you.
my favorite tool without a doubt is Real Scout, but you need to have a client or an open house. You need to have someone to put in there. So if I were starting today, fresh out of my classes, I would go to BuySide and share my home valuation site on every single piece of web that I have on Facebook, on my website, I would post it. I would just share it everywhere. I'd put it in my email signature because that is a lead capture tool, and I'm going to show you all how to do that. So if I had to go in order, I would say Real Scout, which isn't going to help you guys quite yet unless you have some people to start talking about how much they love it. I would say BuySide is number one, and number two is actually not entirely a Hannah tool, but I would say social media. I think in today's day and age, you can build an entire client base from Instagram, Facebook, and a YouTube channel. And I will actually go over that this afternoon. I try to do it in a half hour. It's honestly a ton of content, but those would be my favorite. And I would love to show everyone right now how to share their BuySide HVS. I think it's an incredible tool. So since I have, well, I guess, is any more questions for Earl before I just start taking us on a little tangent?
I have one. When you are prospecting and you think you have like a validated lead and they're communicating with you and then it just stops. Every email, every phone call, text, it just stops. How many more times do you reach out before you just decide it's a dead lead?
Well, I get that. A lot of agents come to me with that. Okay, so you have no idea why it stopped. And that's what some people say, oh my goodness, they won't call me back and they won't respond. Well, life happens. Life happens. You have no idea why they stopped responding to you. What I would say is you just do a drip campaign. You just keep in front of them every so often. Just reach out to them with an email, a phone call, maybe a text, depending on how you're communicating with them. But don't take it personal. I see so many of my agents say, well, it must be me. No, it doesn't necessarily have to be you. Something could have happened in their life where they needed to leave town. Maybe they're on vacation. Maybe there was a life event. And maybe looking for a house is not their priority anymore. It was when they first started talking to you, but things shift and it's not their priority anymore. It doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. But just stay in front of them. No need to be obnoxious, but you're just, I call it like dripping on them. You're just doing a slow drip on them, just so they know you're still there, and depending on how advanced your relationship is with them. If you send a text, say, hope everything's great. Let me know when you're ready to look for houses. There's nothing invasive about that, and you can continue to do that. After a year, I guess, if you haven't heard from them, still keep them in your database and your Engage, and they're sending out your newsletters. Eventually they're going to need to buy or sell a house, and you'll be there. So don't take it personal, though. Just keep the touches going. I hope that helps.
I have a question. This might have been covered in the first 2 days, but I wasn't here for it. So like using like the Howard Hanna, what is it? Like for that, would I just kind of put in people I know just to like have their information for my own, like maybe like my friends and family, and like that wouldn't send out to people or anything like I guess my concern is like,
sorry, what tool are you referring to? It broke up right when you were saying what it was for me, at least.
Hanna eConnect.
Like the eCards or eContacts?
Maybe it's eContacts. Yeah, eContacts.
Okay.
Would I just like put people I know in there just for like my own use, or like just like to have people's information, or is that like send stuff out to people?
So eContacts was our contact database when like emails started. So it's a little archaic, and definitely it's around right now because it's tied to Profit Power, which is our internal sales system, and we're not getting rid of it anytime soon because of that. But I would say Engage CRM is going to be where you actually want to put your contacts. That's going to pull from every type of lead source, so you can put in the people that you already know. but it's also going to pull realtor.com, howardhanna.com, open to close, Real Scout, all of that. So that's really where you would probably start. And the best part about it is Engage is Hannah Mail contacts. So if you have Outlook, you're going to want to use Outlook to start uploading your database, and it will go in real time to Engage.
Okay.
And if anyone paid it, oh, they wouldn't have seen it yet. Only you would have. Campaigns is a feature that's coming out. The manager saw it last week. You guys will see it on Wednesday. Oh, no, you won't. You'll see the recording after Fast Start. That's happening Wednesday. But it's an automated system that is just incredible for Touchpoint and drip campaigns. So definitely start getting people into Engage. All right, you guys want to see what your little homework assignment's going to be from me? You don't have a choice. So when you go to Go Hannah and you click on Buy Side, you're going to come up. My dashboard has the entire company, so I'm not going to share that. I'm already went in. You'd be on your agent dashboard, and you're going to click on Marketing Suite. And this is your home valuation site. So this is, it's 10 times better than any Zestimate anyone's going to get. It's going to pull public data. It's going to pull, I'll just show you exactly what it looks like. So you want to share your link in your email signature on Facebook, website, just send it out to, your whole sphere. But let's say I want to look up a house. So right now, this is if I were the buyer or the potential seller, right? All we want to do, we want to get listings. So I'm the seller and I'm going in, what's my home's worth? What's my house, value? And what ends up happening is, so it tells me, okay, here is 5 beds, 3.5 baths. And then if that's not correct, let's say I was the owner and I'm like, well, it actually has 2.5 baths. I would click on that and then it'd make me verify ownership. So that's the first lead capture. Then you scroll down and it actually has a Google Street View of the property, and it gives 3 different estimates. So again, think of this as all of these little you want to make them join. So that's the property. You want to make them reach out to you. So, okay, well, this is ranging from what, 241 to 441? That's a huge difference. I want to talk to an agent. Okay, now there's another lead capture. So the condition of the property, because we want to get as much info as possible. And also remember that people love filling out these type of they love having interactive websites. So if I, again, were the owner, I'm obviously going to say that my property is in excellent condition, verify ownership again, another lead capture. And then this is really cool. So this actually shows public data. So this is not just Howard Hanna. This would be every search that's happened on the internet, Trulia, Zillow, whatever, plus ours, on the supply and demand for those properties. So Shakers being a very hot market, and then how many people are looking in certain price ranges. So now you have a seller that's like, oh my goodness, there are 6,900 people looking for a property that is in my price range in Shaker Heights. Maybe this is the time to sell. Scroll down, I see all this other information, blah, blah, blah. And then this is really cool. There's 556 unique buyers at Howard Hanna that have somehow fit one of these criteria. So these are all Howard Hanna buyers where you can go on a listing appointment, or that seller would see, oh my goodness, there's close to 600 people that could be interested in my home. Maybe it is the time to list. And then you have another lead capture, so on and so forth. All right, you should all just fill this out. It's pretty fascinating. So once that's been filled out, that's what you're sharing. What you want to do is click on My Leads. And they can't spell my dad's name or my last name for anything. But so now it told me that this owner, someone just did a search on this property. The greatest part about this, and usually people are like, well, they didn't give any contact info. No, they didn't. But if you share this with your friends, your sphere, on your Facebook, you're probably going to recognize some of the names. And you could say, okay, so, I know Jim really well. I'm going to reach out to him on Facebook and say, hey, Jim, I got a notice that someone checked the price of the house on Linton Road. Was that you? Because if it wasn't, then maybe there's someone interested in in buying your home or something. It's another great conversation starter. You would now have an address. You could send a message. Someone looked at the value of this home. Obviously, I always do theirs, not mine. But again, that's a great thing to go in. I would say this is a great place to start if you're interested in trying to build your business. And then the other option would be social media, which my little teaser, that's the last class of the day. I would love to just offer it right now, obviously, but I know that people probably have to go.
Kate, if you're representing a buyer, this can kind of give you like some kind of power, right?
Oh, yes. So
On the negotiation side of things, I mean, like for the buyer, because I'm doing it with you right now, and I pulled up a house that I'm interested in, and I'm seeing, yeah, this is great.
So the one thing I will say, especially, I mean, yes, you're correct. Obviously, all data, all info is going to be helpful regardless on what side you're really on, because you'll get to understand the market. But in such an insane seller's market, it's tough to want to take some of this info. You know, be careful how much you are telling your buyer about. But like, obviously, if I had listings, I could actually do reverse prospecting this way and find a buyer that would potentially like that home. I mean, this is a proprietary tool to Howard Hanna right now. Other people could buy into it in different markets. I think it might be in some spots in Pittsburgh, but it's not going to work the same if they don't have the market data. And obviously Howard Hanna does. So you can go into listing appointments with this info. I don't know if Rebecca brought this up, but if you're trying to do FSBOs or expireds, what you want to do, did she mention buy side when it comes to FSBOs? Did she show you how to do it? So for those of you that want to prospect FSBOs, I commend you. I think that's amazing. Instead of having to do it from your marketing suite, you'll see up here the BMA. You get that FSBO after you chat with them, or you stop by, or somehow have that first connection. Put in their address, and then it's going to actually pull. You know what I'll do. So it's actually going to pull a report, a PDF. You could print this out and actually send it to them, drop it off at their house with a little sticky note. Like, I wanted to let you know, like, what I can do for you to make your life easier. You can set property estimates here. So we'll hit next. So you pick whichever one or your own. And it's going to let them see how many people in that area. So we'll say, 200. So there we go. That sounds good. Generate a PDF. I could print this out, drop it off to them with my business card, and say, peace of mind, let me list your home. It will be easier for you. The marketing, you don't have to worry about paying for that marketing. And I have 497, I think was the number. And I have 497 buyers that I could reach out to right now and tell them that your home is available for sale, that I know are interested in similar properties. I mean, what a powerful way to talk to a FSBO with this tool. It takes a minute, obviously, because it's making the magic happen, I guess. So it might take a second to load, but a great way to really take advantage of FSBOs. So again, I would just print it, but like, why Howard Hanna? I mean, it's basically meant for someone who's looking to list or who is a FSBO, or maybe they're with another brokerage. You've got the heat map, the online activity. I mean, 34,000 clicks. So that could be redundant, because someone could be looking on howardhanna.com and Zillow or Trulia. But still, I mean, if they're looking in 3 different spots at the same property that are similar properties, that's a good sign. That's 34,000 people that have clicked on a property that's similar to this one. And then the final page, like the big page here, is I have 460. Oh, I thought it was 97. I have 460 buyers that I could reach out to. I could reach out to their agents, their Howard Hanna clients. They've been pre-approved. You know, we've gone through our own vetting system. These aren't like the looky-loos that are just trying to look inside all these different houses. These are qualified buyers, 460 of them that I could reach out to right now. I mean, you could go on any listing appointment to any FSBO and pick up that FSBO with just this presentation. So to answer the very long-winded answer, but to answer the question, where would you start if you were brand new? That's what I would do. Oh, okay, I can show this. How do you copy the link into your email? So I would recommend using Outlook, but I can show it on both. So I have my email signature. There is a way for them to embed it, but let's see here. I have my link copied. I'll show you this way first. So I'm going to go File, Options, Mail, Signatures, and then whichever one you want to edit. As an example, I just did. But whichever, you know, new. So I just put whatever I want to do, and then I'm going to click on this chain link with the earth, and I'm putting in the web address, and up here I'm going to put
You're not sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm not?
No.
I thought I had it on share. Oh, wow, that took a while for you guys to tell me. Let's try that again, shall we? All right, so I'm in Outlook. Do we all see Outlook?
Yes.
All right, there we go. Let's try this again. File, Options, Mail, Signatures, and then, you know, I'm just gonna make, you just make a new one or whatever. You guys didn't see when I actually copied this link then if it wasn't shared. So I went to Marketing Suite, HVS, email signature, and then I copy this link back into my mail. This little chain link with the earth, this is the universal embed a hyperlink. All right, so wherever you are, that's whatever product you're on, that's what you're going to click on. And then my web address, I'm just going to paste it. And the text that I want them to read is find out how much your home is worth. I hit OK, and now it's a hyperlink. It's the same image on webmail. The reason why mail.howardhanna.com is not as popular is because it has a character limit. And even though this doesn't look like that many characters, it includes the web address. So it's more, and it could tell you it's much. All right. Any other questions for me? Let me just check one thing with attendance. I wanted to confirm Brenda is not on. Brian Spurlock, I got you. Brian Carleton. I do not have. Chelsea. Destiny, you joined us, right? I saw Destiny Aaron. I had her not here. Destiny, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Who else? Let's see. Sorry guys, really quick. Jennifer Bartone. Jennifer Orley. Either of you on? Christy Grieve. Linda Giamarino. Tammy. Tony or Wendy? All right, then I think I got everyone else. Tim, can Outlook be accessed from your home computer if you purchase it? If you purchase Outlook, Microsoft Outlook, you can.
Hi. Just wanted to say for attendance, I'm here as well.
Darla, I don't even know if I have you on my sheet. Darla, what office are you with?
Menor, Howard Hanna.
All right, we will check back in then this afternoon. I'll make sure that I add you to that. Were you on all morning?
No.
Just the second class?
Yeah, 11:30.
All right. All right, well, thank you, everyone. I will see you back on in about an hour. And enjoy your lunch.
Hey, Kate,
Yes.
just a question. So I'm on the Outlook right now with the signature. Now, when it says the